Hi, I'm Donna. This class will be for upper back strength and balance and luxuriousness. Hello, Coco. We're going to start seated. So the higher you sit, the easier it is. If you're fine on the floor, it's fine. Otherwise, grab a blanket or a cushion. Okay, so take a cross-legged position and take the side that doesn't feel so easy. Good. And we're going to bring the hands onto the knees and lift your front core. Balance your head so you have that sense of your skull balanced on your spine. Focusing on each breath. And as you exhale, squeeze your front core gently towards the core of your body or towards your back. Notice if it feels like your chest is expanding, or when you take a big breath into your shoulders lift. So keep your shoulders relaxed. Let the rib cage expand. Let the belly compress on the exhalation. Letting your energy gather just to yourself, to this moment where you've made time and space for yourself. Good. And gently opening your eyes and just start waving your ribs from side to side. And think of it as a serpent-like movement. It might feel really nice to move your back like this, or it might highlight some tension in your body. So pay attention. Noticing your breathing in and out through your nose. Good. And all the way up to sitting tall again. Good. And we're going to gently turn to the left side. So take your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Looking over your left shoulder. Just take a couple of big breaths there. Lifting the breastbone, feeling the spaciousness of your ribs. Keep lifting the belly as you exhale. Good. And then second side. Belly squeezes in as you exhale. Let the ribs turn. Just taking notice. Good. And then coming back to center and put the other leg on top. Back to the first side. Let the ribs turn. Be gentle with your neck. Good. Back to center. Last side. Good. And back to center. Feeling the lift of the breastbone, the expansion of your ribs when you breathe in, and as you breathe out, lifting the front core. Good. And now we're going to take the left hand onto the floor. The right arm's going to reach up, and as you exhale, just stretch over as far as your back wants to go. For some people, it's going to be a really big movement. You're going to come back up. Good. Left arm's going to reach up so the left ribs feel long, the left waist feels long. I'm going to keep the front of the body from falling forward. So keep lifting the heart to the ceiling. Inhale to come up and exhale to reach just as far as you need to reach. Listening to your back, finding what you need this morning. What activities in your life have brought this experience in your body in this moment. Good. So only reach as far as your back needs to go. So finding the lengthening that feels good in your body, where you can let go, where you need to support. Good. And then coming back up to center. Great. We're going to take the arms out wide, so the chest is wide. Bring your right upper arm over your left upper arm. And for Garudasana arms. And if you can't quite reach, you're just going to embrace your shoulders. Okay, so if it's too strong in your shoulders, do this. And take your upper arms off your chest enough so that you can take a deep breath. So here we're listening to the shoulders. Some people need more stretch. If that's you, elbows away from the floor, hands away from your face. Good. We're going to lift the front core, lift the breastbone, look up, and as you exhale, start to hinge forward at the front of the hip crease. Hollow the belly. Some people will be reaching forward a long way here. Only go as far as you need to go. Just relax your neck for a moment. Follow your breathing. Good, and then inhale and come up. Lifting up, looking up. Good, and then look forward. Release your arms. Reach the chest out wide. Bring the left upper arm over the right upper arm. So if this is too strong to hold onto thumb or bring the fingers into the palm, just hold your shoulders. But take your arms off your chest enough so you can breathe deeply. Good, and listening, feeling to your shoulders. Do you need to take the elbows up higher for that bigger stretch, for the hands away from the face? Let the collarbones stay wide, the chest stay wide. Good, and then reaching up, breastbone lifts, little back bend here as you look up. And then as you exhale, hollow and lengthen the belly and reaching forward. Just as far as you need to reach. Good, squeeze pelvic floor and belly to lift, roll all the way up, look up. Good, and then release. Take your arms out wide, nice, big movement for the chest. Good, and then release. Hands back to your knees. Good, cross your legs the other way, so we're back in the little bit uncomfortable or unnatural position. Find the length of your spine, the space of the breath in your body. Good. And then we're going to come into a kneeling position towards the back of the mat. And you don't need a blanket unless you want to have something underneath your knees. Forward Virasana. Take your hips as close to your heels as your knees allow. Lengthen the belly, the sides of the waist, the armpits, the arms. Your forehead might reach the floor. Otherwise, lengthen the back of the neck. Breathing and noticing the breath, the whole length of the spine. Right down to the sacrum, the tailbone. Feel what the ribs are doing, how they move with each breath. Good, and then lifting your hips, and you want a bigger distance between your knees and your hands this time, so you might have to walk your knees back a little. We're going to keep the hips high and straight over the knees. reach your arms forward. So this is going to be a bigger stretch for the shoulders. Keep the collarbones wide. And again, bring the chest towards the floor. Maybe your forehead reaches the floor. And let the upper back relax heavily into this posture. Just give the weight of your body to the pose towards the floor. If you have a lot of movement here, you might be reaching your chin forward. But don't squash the back of the neck. Good. And then lifting up. Let's walk your knees forward so that you can put your forearms down onto the floor. Okay, now this is a gentler version. We're going to keep the knees onto the floor underneath the hips and little press ups. So you're going to keep your forearms parallel and work your elbows evenly up and down from the floor. If you need a stronger practice, tuck the toes under and straight legs, same thing. Try to keep the forearms parallel. Keep the back of the neck long. Squeeze the front core to support the back core. Good. And then right up onto your hands and tuck your toes under if you were kneeling for downward facing dog pose. So your hands are about shoulder width. Your feet are about hip width. You're going to pedal your legs. So stretch the back of one leg and then the other. So press the left heel down, bend the right knee. Press the right heel down, bend the left knee. Good. Just starting to warm up your legs. Notice if there's tension in your shoulders. Keep the collarbones wide. Space between the shoulder blades wide. Press both heels. Press into the pads of the fingers, the base of the index fingers. See if you can lift the belly, lengthen the belly, lift the sit bones, lift the kneecaps, lift the quadriceps, but press the heels. Nod your head, make sure your neck is really relaxed. Good. And then knees to the floor so that we're in an all fours position. So if you can, shoulders over your wrists. If that's too strong for your wrists, take your hands further forward. Good. And in cat stretch, we're going to reach the right ribs to the side, reach the left ribs to the side. You can turn your neck in a way that feels easeful and look over your shoulder. So ribs go left, look over your left shoulder. Ribs go right, look over your right shoulder. A little bit side to side. Hips are going as well. Good. Come back to center. And then arching the spine down, look up and tuck the tailbone forward, arch the spine all the way up, looking towards your chest. Good. Inhale. Letting the spine lower. And as you exhale, arching the spine up, looking to your chest, lift the belly. A couple more. Keep the weight in the pads of your fingers, base of the index fingers. Good. And then we're going to take a rest for your hands for a moment in child's pose. Just squeeze your fingers into a fist and squeeze and release. You can have your knees together if that feels really comforting for you, but you want to find what is nourishing in your body. I like to have space for my belly, for my chest. Good, and then reaching the arms all the way forward, forward virasana. Coming up into downward facing dog pose. Good. And we're going to wave the hips to the right, hips to the left. You can let the whole spine follow. You can look under the opposite armpit. You can just keep your neck where it feels really comfortable. Just play around with letting the hips be heavy to one side and then the other. See where you feel that stretch. Good, and then you're going to come into plank position. Press the pads of the fingers. And if it's too strong in your wrist, take your feet back further so that angle in the wrists is not so acute. Good. Now in plank, we want to tuck the tailbone forward, lift the kneecaps, lift the quadriceps, lift up between the shoulder blades, but we're going to lengthen the back of the neck. Good. And then roll over on your feet so the hips come towards the floor. Come back up into plank, roll over on your feet so your hips fall to the left towards the floor. Okay, so we're keeping the shoulders steady, but letting the spine turn. And if this is too strong, of course, try it with your knees on the floor. Otherwise, still going from side to side. Good. And then knees onto the floor. Rest your hands. Squeeze them into a fist and release. Squeeze and release. Try child's pose. Just notice where your body starts to warm up, but also where tension starts to accumulate. Might be around your neck or your shoulders. And let go where you can. Good. And then we're going to reach the arms forward, forward virasana. Good. And coming up either into your plank position or modified plank with your knees onto the floor. Good. And this time we're going to roll the hips to the right, roll over on the feet. You're going to keep both feet on the floor, but lift the left arm up and reach up. Good. And then rolling the left hip to the left. So you keep both feet on the floor. Reach up with your right arm. Good. Nice and gentle. Be careful with the way you place your hands. Keep the finger spaces nice and wide. Press the pads of the fingers. Press the base of the index fingers. But open the chest. Good. You might want to try taking the leg up as well if you really have your balance. Oh, can she do it? No. Keep going. One more each side. Good, and coming down, take a rest. Child's pose. Squeeze your fingers. Relax your hands, your arms, your shoulders, your back. Good, and then reach your arms all the way forward. Good. We're going to lift the shoulders. You're going to walk your hands further forward. Bring your knees hip width, lower legs parallel, and bring the forearms to the floor. Walk your knees back far enough so you're going to get the stretch you need for your chest, for your shoulders. So keep your elbows onto the floor. And bring your forward towards or onto the floor. Let the shoulders be wide. Let the chest be wide. Good. And then lift your elbows, come forward so that you're in a all fours position. Okay. You're going to take your left arm underneath the right arm, and you bend your right arm so that you can get your left shoulder down onto the floor. Now, maybe it doesn't go all the way. You could always put a blanket, or you can hold this position, turn your ribs so you can look up past your right shoulder. If it lays down nice and easy. You can put your other arm just to rest. Make sure your neck is comfortable. I'm going to try and keep my lower legs parallel, my upper body at rest. Good, and then lifting back up. So this time back of the left hand under the right arm. So we have different range of movement here. You might only be able to reach your right arm as far as you can. So your shoulder might not touch the floor. Just keep your neck long, keep your shoulder blades back. Otherwise, if you can reach your shoulder down onto the floor, just rest your other arm. We'll try and keep the lower legs parallel, but let the upper body be at ease. Make a comfortable position for your neck. Breathing deeply into your lungs. Good, and then release. Come back into all fours, downward facing dog pose. Just make sure your neck is really relaxed. Open your chest a little more, open the armpits a little more. Press the heels, lift the kneecaps. Good. And then we're going to walk forward and roll up when you run out of room. And then rolling all the way up. Arms out wide, looking up. Good. And as you exhale, Tadasana. And take a moment just rolling your shoulders up, letting your shoulder blades slide down towards your back waist. Lift the front of your legs. Lift your kneecaps. Relax your neck. Good. You can roll one shoulder up and the other. Good. Letting your chest be wide. Roll the upper arms out. Palms in. Feel ease at the base of your skull. Your feet onto the floor, even across the balls of your feet, the heels of your feet, each toe stretching. Good. Now we're going to step the left leg back. So bring your hands in front of your heart and take a bigger step as you can and turn to face the side of your mat. So you're going to have your feet a little bit wider than your leg is long. Turn your toes a little in, heels a little out. Good. Press the outside edge of your feet down. Press the inside edge of your feet down, but lift up the center skin at the top of the feet as much as you can. Good. Lift the kneecaps, quadriceps, front of the hips. Good. We're going to bring the arms behind and you're going to try and hold your elbows. And if you can't reach your elbows, just gently holding your wrists. Good. Otherwise, walking your hands along, taking hold of the elbows. You might even be able to hold the upper arms. Good. We're going to lift the quadriceps, the front thigh muscles, lift the belly, lift the breastbone, look up. Good. And as you exhale, keep really strong legs. We're going to reach the breastbone forward. Keep the back of the neck long. Good. And you reach forward as far as you can without making a rainbow shape in your spine. And where your arms are folded, you'll feel them against your lower back arch. See if you can reach that lower back arch a little further forward, breastbone forward. The weight of your upper body here is going to be stretching through the back of the legs to keep the kneecaps lifting. Good. If it hurts your knees to have straight legs here, keep them a little bit bent, but you can still keep lifting your quadriceps. You're reaching the top of the head forward as far as you can. Some people are going to be reaching the floor with ease. Good. Now we're going to lift up. You can bend your knees if that feels right in your body. Otherwise, squeeze your belly, squeeze the pelvic floor. Lift the breastbone. Ease the whole body up. You're going to release your arms, reach up like a starfish. Lift your heart. Stretch out through your arms, stretch out through your legs. Good. And then we're going to repeat. Take your arms behind you again, but see if you can put the other forearm on top, either holding your hands, your wrists, your forearms, your elbows or your upper arms. Good. Lift the quadriceps, lift the breastbone, look up. And as you exhale, reach the breastbone forward. Then lengthen the back of the neck. Good. Where your arms are against your lower back, help to ease your spine forward rather than letting it pop up towards the ceiling like a rainbow. So easing the lower back forward. Hollow and lengthen your belly, your front core. Reaching the top of the head towards the floor. Keep pressing the outside edge of the feet, the inside edge of the feet. Lift up the skin on the top of the feet, right in the center, so the arches are working. Lift the kneecaps, quadriceps. Keep breathing, keep breathing. And to lift up, you decide, bend your legs or straight legs. Lift your breastbone. Lift all the way up, release your arms, and like a starfish, reach up. Reach out through your hands, your fingers, draw the shoulder blades down, open the chest, breathe deeply. And we're going to bring the hands in front of the heart and step forward. So turn your right foot out and keep it light. Tadasana. With your feet under your hips. Lift the front of the legs, the front of the thighs, hips, belly, breastbone, top of the head. Relax your shoulder blades. Finding the breath. Relax your shoulders. Good. I'm going to step the feet together. Bring the hands into prayer position behind your back. And this might be strong. So you might just be getting fingers together like that, or it feels too strong in your wrists. You can hold your arms again like we did before. Or if you can get the first knuckles together, see if you can get a little further down. Maybe you can lift the fingers. Good, chest nice and wide. Okay, we're going to take the left foot back and keep your feet facing forward. So you want your feet from side to side about your own hip width. And you're going to try and press your back heel down onto the floor. So the feet are parallel, the legs are parallel. Lift the front of the left thigh, left hip. Make a little back bend. Where your hands are against your back is a cue to the back bend. Good, and looking up, lengthen the back of the neck. All right, we'll keep the legs really straight. Keep your balance. Focus across the balls of the feet, the heels, stretch the toes, and keep reaching the belly forward. So you're hinging at the front of your right hip crease. Reach the belly forward. Keep the hips level. Keep the breastbone reaching forward. Okay, bend your front leg and just check in again. Do you have that feeling of mobility in your lower back? Can you arch it all the way back and all the way forward? Arch it all the way forward. Reach forward and straighten your front leg. You might be able to reach the belly all the way over the thigh. Strong, straight legs. Keep breathing. Good, and then release. So you're going to bend your front leg, lift up, look up. Good, and then stepping forward. Feet together, and second side. You can give your hands a little rest if you need to. Good, we'll step the right foot back. So I'm going to get you to try with feet parallel. Press the back heel, legs strong and straight. Good, where the hands are into the back body, you're lifting the breastbone, lifting the lower back. Good, looking up. Good, keep your legs straight, lift your kneecaps, reach the belly forward, reach the breastbone forward. Good, go as far as you can. And then bend your front leg and notice how you immediately have more access to the mobility in your lower back. So you're arching your spine back, arching your spine forward, keep it forward, keep the lower back reaching forward, nice and long. See if you can lengthen the ribs out over the front thigh and then straighten the front leg. Keep breathing, keep breathing. Good. And then bend your front leg. Good. Lift all the way up. Look up. Good. And we're going to step forward, thankfully releasing your hands. Turn your palms all the way out. So upper arms are rolling out, chest is wide. Take the thumbs back. Good. And then release your hands back towards the sides of your thighs. So for the next one, revolve triangle, Parivrtta Trikonasana, you might need a block. So I'll show you how to use that. I'm going to put it outside my right foot. Doesn't matter if you don't have one, you might be able to reach the ground. You can use a chair or a stool. Hands in front of your heart, step your left foot back. Okay, legs parallel, feet parallel. And see how you go. You're going to bend your front leg and take your hand, your left hand, to the outside of your right foot. So if you easily reach the floor here, you can work like that. You can have your block or the seat of a chair. Right hand's on your sacrum. Good. And then you're going to remember what you've been doing with your lower back, reaching forward, opening the chest. Good. And see if you can keep that feeling in your spine and straighten your right leg. Good. And we're going to turn the chest to the right side. So you don't have to use the block, it's fine to use the floor. If you reach all that way. Good. Right ribs reaching back, left ribs reaching forward, legs as straight as you can. Concentrate on your balance. Okay, you can look at the floor next to the right side of your mat. That might be as far as you need to go. Some people, you can look all the way along the floor, up the wall, across the room from you, up to the ceiling. If you could look up at the ceiling, lift up your right arm, reach. Good. And then release, gaze back down the way you came. Good. And we're going to lift up. Hands to the heart, lift the chest and stepping forward. Feet together, Tadasana. Second side. So get ready with your prop if you need anything. Stepping the right foot back this time, legs parallel, feet parallel. Press the feet, press the back heel. Good. Now if you bend your front knee, it gives you a little bit more room to move. So find what you need on this side. Left hand to the sacrum, right hand onto a support on the outside of your left foot or onto the floor. Good. See if you can reach your lower back further forward. Reach center front further forward. And then straighten through your left leg. You're looking at the floor on the left side of the mat. Find your balance. Feel through the legs, the feet. If you can turn your ribs, left ribs are lifting up towards the ceiling. Right ribs reaching across to the outside of your left thigh. See if you can look along the floor. Maybe you can look up the wall across the room. Maybe you can look up at the ceiling, past your left shoulder, and left arm reaches up. Strong straight legs. Open the heart, breathe. Good, and then release. Hand back down onto your sacrum, gazing back down the way you came. Back to the front. Good, and stepping forward. Hands to your heart. Tadasana. Good, and part your feet hip width. Feet are going to be parallel. We're going to take Garudasana arms again. So remember, if you have trouble with that movement, hold on to your shoulders. Looking up, lift your arms. Good, and as you exhale, we're going to do Uttanasana here. So bend the knees a little to reach into the pose. Try to keep the lower back arch reaching forward, making a valley shape, not a rainbow shape. Some people are going to be able to hang forward here. Otherwise, you're reaching forward. Just keep your neck nice and relaxed. Good, and then bend your knees and inhale and lift up. We're going to take the arms up or look up. If your hands are on your shoulders, lift the front of the legs, little back bend. Good, and then release. Arms out wide, left arm over the right arm. Little back bend. Good. Lift your kneecaps. Now you can bend your knees if you need to come forward. Otherwise, we're going to reach forward. Keep the back of the neck nice and long. Arms are hanging off the chest. You can breathe deeply. Try to get your lower back to be more of a valley shape than a rainbow shape. Breathe deeply. Hollow the belly. Good. To come up, you can bend your knees if you feel like you need to do that. Otherwise, strong, straight legs, anchor through the front of the legs. So lift the kneecaps, lift the quadriceps, lift the arms, lift the chest, look up. Lift the front of the hips. Good, and then release. Arms out wide. Upper arms roll all the way out. Palms in. Tadasana. We're going to lay down on the floor, and if you've got a blanket, it'd be really good, or a rolled up towel. And remember, when you lay down, think about how you move to do that. So I've just got a blanket. I'm going to make a roll and put it for underneath your shoulder blades. Okay, so obviously don't do it if it hurts, but find your shoulder blades on your support, and it can be a bolster, it can be higher if you need that bigger stretch. So see, my armpits are over the top of the support, so my neck is not bending back like that. Throat is long. Good. And bring your legs into Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, knees out wide. You could have legs like that if there was a problem for your hips. Or out straight if you like that feeling. Give the weight of your body to that support. Good, and then to come off that equipment, bring your knees in, bring your arms in and roll across to your right side. Just lift up so you can slide that out. We're going to lay back down, back supported onto the floor. Give the weight of your body to the floor. Legs are bent, feet are hip width parallel. Good. Then bring the inside edges of your feet together, knees together. Lift your hips and place them to the left of your mat or on the left of your mat, and bring your knees towards the floor on the right. And for some people that's a big stretch. You could put that support back in under your knees if they don't quite reach. And turn to look over your left shoulder. If your knees are below the line of your hips, the stretch is going to be lower in the spine, maybe even around the sacrum. But if you lift your knees higher, that stretch starts to move. You can put your right hand onto your left knee. The stretch starts to move higher in the spine. So left shoulder blade back onto the floor, but put your knees where it's good for your spine. Good. You can make this strong work if you like, and squeeze your belly, squeeze the pelvic floor, and lift your knees off the floor and your feet off the floor. If it feels too strong, just leave them resting. Otherwise squeezing, and you can add a little bit of weight by taking the top leg out to straight, the lower leg out to straight. Either resting your legs or squeezing the core to try and lift the weight of your legs off the floor. Left shoulder blade stays reaching down to the floor. Good, and then bend your legs, come back to center. Good, we lift the hips, swing to the right side of the mat, and then knees go to the left. Good, if they don't reach all the way, put something underneath your knees. Reach your right shoulder blade back to the floor. Good. You can be passive here. You can make it in a different part of your back by where you put your knees higher up towards your shoulder. Then the stretch starts to move up my spine. See what feels good for you. Good, and you can make it stronger. Squeeze the core, squeeze the pelvic floor. See if you can lift your feet off the floor, your knees just off the floor. Good, you can make it stronger by taking your top leg out to straight. I've run out of room. Good, you can match with the lower leg out to straight. Good, and then release, squeeze your core, squeeze pelvic floor, come back up to center. Good, and then bring your arms on the inside of your legs, hold your feet. Happy baby pose. So you're trying to bring your knees onto the floor, outside your shoulders, and the soles of your feet parallel to the ceiling. I really like to rock from side to side. You might like that feeling, or just holding. But let the thighs be heavy, let the belly be relaxed, nice and wide. Good. And then from here, we're going to lay down for Savasana. Lengthen your lower back, slide your shoulder blades towards your back waist, have the chest wide. Arms out far enough so your armpits are relaxed. Nice straight line through the center of your body. And then no more work to do. Once you get your neck long, let your legs just roll out, your feet roll out. And give the weight of your body to the floor, to the earth. You might like to add the Savasana video that will be available on this channel for a longer Savasana. When you're ready to come out of the pose, just gently wriggling your fingers and your toes, bending in your legs, and keep your eyes closed. And rolling with care for yourself to your right side. When you're ready, come up and have a seated position. Hands in front of your heart. Feel the space around your heart. The space of each breath in your body. And take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste.